Hello, this is the second part of my scripting engine preview. In my last video, I showed off the basic of the scripting engine, but some people told me they would have liked to actually see how I would implement the script, so let's do that today. So first I'll just show what I'm going to do. So if you look here, here's the drafting screen. You can pick cards and they go into your deck on your side here. I want to add a script so that if I click a card in the deck and not here, it will be removed from the deck. So let's first have a look at where this is stored in memory so that we know what we're doing. So if we go in to the memory, we can see here in the campaign, we have a reference to the deck. And if we double click there, we can jump to the instance and we see that there is a list of cards inside this deck. So these are the cards that I have here. You can see they're matching. And if I pick more, it should be updated with more cards. Second thing we can check is this draft bucket small card here. These are the buttons that you see here, or the list items. And you can also see that this has a reference to the card that it represents. So essentially all I need to do is write a script that takes this, extract this reference from here and calls remove on the list inside your deck in the campaign. So let's do that. So first I'm going to connect a script to the list item itself. So here is the list item. I could add the script here as a on-click, this one here, but then it will also be on every instance of this list item, which I don't want because I don't want it to be on the cards you're picking, the buckets. I created this convenience script here that actually creates these cards for you. It does a bunch of stuff like setting icon and stuff like that. So what I can do, you can see here for the deck list, for instance, on the refresh, you will see we are calling this custom script create small card. So what I can do is I can add an input for script on this one. So we're just going to add a new input. We can make the on-click. I could also add a sound, but let's just do both. On-click. So let's add the sound and a script here. They will both be references to that stuff, and now we just need to set that on this button we are creating. So we are storing this button, it seems here, inside the script in the variable called reference. I'm guessing it's created here at the start. So here we can see it's created. So, and then we're setting a bunch of properties on it. So all I need to do, I can just copy this one, for instance, and I'll make some space here. Disconnect this. I'll just paste in this here. So I want to set on-click the event. And I want to set it on the variable reference that is in my script. And where am I getting it from? I'm getting it from the input, but I'm not getting the reference. I'm getting the on-click event that I added as an input to this function here. And now we'll just duplicate this and do the same for the sound. So fairly straightforward. Make some more space. And we select the on-click sound. I still need to fix this list so you can read it a bit better, but it's not urgent. On-click sound. So now we're pulling this on-click sound from the input and the script from the input. So if we save this, we can now go back to the list refresh here, and we can see that we now have the on-click sound and the on-click event here as inputs. So we just need to fill them with whatever we want. So let's just get the sound. I have a sound in my internal here. Interface sound, I have a sound for on-click, so I'm going to fetch that. I just do fetch data. And here I can pull any data like objects or data I have stored here. So we're going to do click. Just fetch the sound and put that into the sound slot. And then I need a script, so let's just write a script somewhere. Let's just make it down here next to this script. Add a new script. It can just be an action. scene object, remove card. Let's call it that. And then we're gonna fetch that as well. So we're just doing another fetch data. And remove card. So this is a script. And we'll just put it in there and I'll reorder them. So they're in the same order as in the inputs. Alright, so now I'm putting a click and a script. The script does nothing at the moment, but the sound should now work. So if we go back here, you can just see that this is working. So when I click these, nothing happens. But if I click these up here, you can hear the clicking sound. So it's actually calling, and we can even see the calls here in the event log. We can see that it's also trying to queue the script. It's queuing up this remove script, but of course we haven't written it, so the calls to the remove script is just skipped because it has no actions. So now we just need to write the removal script. So let's go do that. So as we know, we get the card or the object that we clicked as a reference, an input variable reference. I don't have to define it here, I can if I want, but this is passed by the script engine when it calls the script. So I can then start by fetching the reference to the card. So I call get variable. I'm gonna get it from a reference. I'm gonna do another get variable from the inputs to the script. And in the input reference, which is the button that was clicked, I will put that in as a reference, and the variable I want to get from there is also the reference, which is the reference to the card that we want to remove. So now we have the card, so we can also now do remove collection, remove value. I'm going to remove it from a reference collection. You need to select it here so that they can set the inputs correctly. So I'm going to remove this one. So now I just need to get the list from the storage. So I go to the campaign. It is inside the deck as we saw earlier. So we can see here again, if we go here, you can see I need to go in the campaign, I need to go into the deck, and inside the deck is the variable cards. That's where the cards are. So I get the deck from the campaign, and then from the deck, so I need to do reference. From the deck, I'm going to fetch cards, which is the list of cards. You can see it has a plus there, so this is a list. I plug that in. So this simple script, if I just hook it up like this, that should be it, but I also need to refresh the list. So I'm going to call custom script here. I have this scene object deck list refresh, so I'm refresh, so there. I'm just gonna call this script, it has no inputs, but it does the refreshing of the list. So we save this, close, and now we can test it again. So if I go back, it will probably remove the first instance. So if I click the second summoner here, you'll see the first one is the one that disappears. Well, that's fine. I will eventually combine it. I mean, this is just for showing off how the script engine works. But now we can click them and we can go in here and we can see our script running the commands that we set up. So we set up this remove value, which has the input list, which is listed here. And it was a success. It was removed from the list. And the value is this get variable. And then it eventually calls this deck list refresh. So yeah, that was a simple demonstration of how actually scripting in the scripting engine works.